Hi, I'm Jonathan McDonald from Province Sports. It's the midway point of the Vancouver Canucks season, and so I'm joined by columnist Tony Gallagher to take a little bit of a different take on things. Tony, I'm appointing you head coach of the Canucks. So, tell me a couple of moves you would make that would, give this team, a bit of a jolt going into the second half of the season.
Well, first of all, Jonathan, you have terrified every Vancouver Canucks fan in the city with that concept. But having done so, I will proceed as appointed. The first thing I would do is ask my general manager for a second line center. Somebody preferably young and good enough to stay in that position, and unfortunately have to move up into the #1 spot as Henrik begins to fade. In fact, maybe even find somebody good enough to, replace Henrik and push him back into the #2 spot. And then after the GM told me to get out of his office, I would then proceed to make a few partial changes. First of all, I would move Bo Horvat into the #2 center and see what he can do. He's a bona fide player. He's shown he belongs in the league. Let's give him someone to play with and see what happens. Where you put Bonino doesn't really matter, but maybe you find another spot for him on the wing or somewhere where he can be more effective than he's being. I would put Chris Higgins back as well. I'd give Cassian a crack in the top 6. And I'd try and get Sean Mathias coming down the right side of the ice far more than he is now, playing on the left side when he tends to come up the left side and where he's extremely ineffective. Some of these things are difficult to handle and maneuver and bring about, but they really are something that would possibly improve their chances for winning in the second half, and most definitely improve their chances long term by moving up Horvat, giving him opportunity, by seeing what you've got in Cassian. I might also try to trade or ask the GM to trade Eddie Lack if there's anything for him. I mean, given that Devin Dubnyk fetched a 3rd-round draft pick, I would see if Eddie Lack can do the same. Bring up Jakob Markstrom and plunk him in there, because Markstrom's never clearing waivers again. You got to bring him up and have a spot for him, or you're going to lose him. So, and I would again try to re-sign him, assuming he plays reasonably well in the few opportunities you get him, assuming also that he's content to be Miller's backup until he leaves. These are all things that need to be investigated, but that's what I'd do.
All right, well, moving Bo Horvat to the second line, asking to have Eddie Lack traded. These are a couple of bold moves for Coach Tony Gallagher. Join us for the next video when I ask Tony to play GM.